Alright, Barakatha Yahawah, Barakatha Yahawashi. Yahawah, that's the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahawashi, that's the name of His beloved Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. The honors to the apostles of the great millstone, and peace and mercy to election out there. You brothers holding it down. I'm over here checking out this outbreak that's going on over here on this African island, Madagascar. And you know, off top, a man who understands the devices of the Edomite white man, the so-called white man Esau. We know that he liked to run test runs because he's the one that sent these outbreaks and these plagues. You know, due to the fact that it's prophesied that the Lord gonna send a crazy plague over here in United States of America, and these elite banking families, I strongly believe they like to run these little test runs to see, you know, to gather up data on what to do, what to do and what not to do or whatever. But yeah, you got this plague over there going on in Madagascar, and they trying to say that it's worse. It's just worse than the Black Plague that has struck Europe in around like the 1300s, and it killed all them Jakes off. Jake represent the Israelites, because the Israelites during the time of the Dark Ages, that was the Israelites ruling. That was Negroes, West Indian and Haitian men ruling over there in Europe, and the Lord sent the plague and killed them off, so that the Renaissance era, or the beginning of the so-called white man taking over Europe, was going to occur. That's the true history behind that. But let's drop this. Let's go into this information a little bit and let's get a little update on what's going on. This Matthew 24. Matter of fact, Matthew 24 and 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. So it's not far-fetched that the Lord is going to send a crazy plague to kill off a lot of people at a time, because He did it before. You have countless. I was checking out all type of videos. You had countless periods of time where the Lord sent forth plagues and killed off almost a whole population. And if this time going to be like never before, you best believe that the Lord going to send something again, all right? Let's play this, though.
This is Dabu 7. An update here to this plague outbreak that is said to be just out of control in Madagascar. This is a situation where they're saying they don't know exactly where this sprung up, but they're saying that more than 143 people have been killed thus far.
Okay, they said they don't even know where this plague have been sprung up. That goes to show you that it just was dropped by mankind, you know. Over there in Atlanta, United States in Atlanta, they got the CDC, the Center of Disease Control, where they, you know, like I hear the apostles say all the time, man, it's not the Center of Disease Prevention, but Center of Disease Control, because they controlling this, man. But look, the real men of the Lord, the people who trust in Yahawashi, we have nothing to fear. It's you people out there that's most wicked that this plague is going to touch, and it's going to be horrifying when it hits you. All right, but let's continue. But this Dabu 7 said that 143 people have already been killed, and I believe this video was November 10th. We're now at the 14th.
African island, and they're saying that cases have risen by 8% in just 1 week. Now, they're saying it's airborne, so that makes things that much more difficult. And at the moment,
you heard that? They say it's airborne. That mean, I remember seeing what's the movie Outbreak? They was in I believe it's Outbreak with the little monkey, the monkey. They was in a theater, everybody just laughing in the theater, you know, joke off of whatever movie they was watching in the movie. And the germ was just spreading throughout the theater. Easy, airborne. Everybody catching it just off of everybody laughing in the theater, man. So an airborne disease ain't nothing to play with, man. You could breathe it in and catch it, you know.
They're saying that police are having to go in and seize bodies, take them from family members because family members do not want to give them up. And in other instances, they're saying that they're not being told how to properly dispose of the bodies. There's no official way to go about doing that, is what they're saying. So
that just shows you the intensity and the seriousness of what's going on over there. Over here in the United States of America, ain't nothing really too much going on like that, man. These people are trying to slack it. These people are family members or whatnot is getting put to death. They don't even want to give the bodies up. The police is forcing themselves into their homes and taking the bodies from these people. And then they're not even, the government is not even telling these people how to properly dispose of these bodies, man. Show you the craziness of what's going on in the world. Now imagine when this is over here in the United States of America, which is spiritually known as Egypt. You know?
we have a situation here where there's a lot of confusion, a lot of unknowns, and people are also not even wanting to go to the doctor with even the slightest cough because they're afraid that they're going to be deemed to have this.
You heard that, ma'am? These people are going to be deemed to have this. They're scared to go to the hospital because they believe they're going to be, they believe that they're going to be deemed to have this plague. That's a fearful thing, man.
Among other reasons. But, you know, they're trying to check this thing. They're saying that 9 countries are now on high alert amid fears that this thing could go global. And I just wanted to cover it, do an update, let it be known. This is where it sits.
Let's go to another one now. So they said 9 countries off the coast of Africa is scared of this thing.
Antananarivo is home to more than 2 million people. When the plague arrived here in August, no one was expecting it, and no one was prepared. There's an annual outbreak of bubonic plague.
You said that, it said nobody was expecting it, and nobody was prepared when that plague got sent over there, man. And that's what's going to happen over here in America. Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that had been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's what we telling y'all. Yahawashi, the God of the Bible, is finna send forth these plagues to destroy the wicked, man. So you better get right before the Lord do his thing, you know. Let's check some more of this video.
Spread by infected rats and fleas in Madagascar every year, but it only begins in September. The first victim passed through here, the city's second biggest bus stop, on his way from Ankanzobe. It's believed 32-year-old farmer Flavian Rakatonirina had already contracted the infectious disease. Today, there are screening measures in place before a bus can leave here. Every passenger's temperature is checked and entered into a book. These checkpoints were set up in October, but some still need convincing. The doctor tells the passengers this strain of the plague can kill in just 3 hours. But this passenger says she doesn't even believe the plague is real.
I am not afraid.
You got this woman believing that the plague isn't real. You know, she believed that it's all about money, which it is. Money does have to do with it, but these are test runs, man. Because understand that the prophecies of the Bible is not lying. You know, the beast is finna, these elite banking families is finna release something because they need the population control. They want to do population control, so they want to kill off mass amounts of people at a time. And there's one of the good ways of doing it is sending forth a pestilence. All right.
I don't believe the plague is real because, according to me, it's just... This outbreak is different because there are more cases of pneumonic plague spread through coughing. Back in August, as Rakatonirina traveled east, he infected other people on his bus. And during the 2-hour journey to Moramanga, his condition worsened. The The bus dropped rocket.
So these people they're getting worse within hours. You know, we ain't talking about days. They're getting worse within hours.
Arena here at Muramanga Hospital. The nurses immediately called the doctor on duty, but at that stage, it was already too late. The damage was done, and there was nothing they could do for him.
Pretty much it. Now I got this other last video, 7 going in with an update.
Some updated information here on the situation pertaining to Madagascar in this plague that they're saying at this point
I believe this one is from November 12th, so fairly recent.
Appears to be worse than the Black Death. Now there's been a lot of some updated information here on the situation pertaining to Madagascar in this plague that they're saying at this point appears to be worse than the Black Death.
Now that's crazy to even to say that it's worse than a Black Death. Yeah, when you read on the Black Death, it says the Black Death was one of the most devastating pandemics in human history, resulting in the deaths of an estimate of 75 to 200 million people in Eurasia and peaking in Europe in the years of 1346 to 1353. So you see that 75 to 2 million people was killed from that Black Death, man. The Lord really did away with them people during that time, man. Them Jakes during that time. He really did, man. So they're saying that this one over in Madagascar is worsened. We'll see. You know what I'm saying?
Now there's been a lot of different diseases and times throughout history where lots of people have died. And in some of those cases, they still to this day have no reasoning as to what caused that event. But this one coming from the well-known Madagascar is raising a lot of questions. And right now, people confused about how to handle the bodies. Police have been coming in and basically kicking in people's doors to get the bodies, take them out of there. And at this point, they cannot stop it, and they're fearing that this is going to spread to all these countries that you see here on this map. Any of the islands surrounding Madagascar.
Nah, pray it do, man. Sure. You know, all these people, you know, with the things they doing, man, they need it, you know.
And the numbers continue to grow in terms of those that have been infected, those dying. And if it spreads to this area, once it hits mainland Africa, it could spread a lot quicker in any direction. So if it was to hit Kenya, Ethiopia, so to speak, once it's in Africa, it could spread from there to wherever. Once again, what caused this? Not sure. But in this day and age, when I look at a situation like this personally, I can't help but feel that, wow, this seems to be the prime location, guinea pig location. Set something off.
Yeah.
And let it spread. Now, this is what's also interesting. There's been a lot going on in Africa that they're not telling you about. They have zeroed in on many different sections in Africa as a war front. You've seen what they've done with all of Libya, what happened in Egypt. Next, you have Algeria, Morocco, Mauritania, Mali, and we've seen what's happened to Mali, Niger, Chad, the whole middle region. And then when you get down into the Congo, well, this is the Congo. And if you start to get disease spreading through these regions, that's kind of a game changer. In China, yes, China has been making big moves.
This let me read this one. This is 2nd Ezra 15:10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. When you read Revelations 11, it lets you know that America spiritually is called Egypt. All right. But I will bring them in with a mighty hand, with a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. So America representing Egypt spiritually, because this is where the Israelites is enslaved at in its primary. You know, this is the main spot. The Lord said that He gonna smite Egypt with plagues as before. So just as during the time of Egypt, the Lord jacked them Egyptians up with lice, killed off their cattle and boils and all type of torments on the flesh, man. The Lord gonna do it again, but it's gonna be over here in America, man. All right. And now Dabu said 7 is finna go into how China somehow is intermingling some way into this. Hold up.
The whole middle region. And then when you get down into the Congo, well, this is the Congo. And if you start to get disease spreading through these regions, that's kind of a game changer. And China, yes, China, has been making big moves here on the eastern flanks of Africa. And it's interesting that this is in the same region here that this could potentially spread to. So it's something we're going to watch. Like I said, knowing everything we've seen with Zika and Rothschild patents and where this all goes back to time and time again, you can't rule out that something like that is a possibility here. Regardless, it's a situation that seems to be spinning out of control. I wanted to run an update. I'll continue to update on this as things change. I'll leave a link below, and make sure to follow me on Twitter for the latest updates. This has been Dabu7.
That's pretty much it for him, but goes to show you that the Lord ain't playing, man. So you better get your stuff together. The Lord gonna strike you when He sent forth this one over here to Egypt, modern day America. Close it out with this, Jeremiah 42:16. Then it shall come to pass that the sword which ye feared shall overtake you there in the land of Egypt, and the famine whereof you were afraid shall follow close after you there in Egypt, and there ye shall die. So shall it be with all the men that set their faces to go to Egypt and to sojourn there. Just swap Egypt out for America in this sense. They shall die by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence, and none of them shall remain or escape from the evil that I bring upon them. So yeah, man, that time is coming. Shalom.